United have spent over £200 million this summer, but they've also got some big names off their books, including Marcus Rashford and Alejandro Garnacho. I mean, look, we've got Sancho, Antony, Rashford, Garnacho, Højlund and Malacia still waiting to see what happens with him. Chris, you were making a point mainly on Antony, you know, who's a sale there of 21.7 million. We heard 3 years ago going for 80 million to Man United.
I mean, Manchester United's recruitment. I mean, Højlund as well. They brought him in for an absolute fortune. Now he's away on loan. Sancho was brought in as well. I mean, the money Manchester United. You speak about their goalkeeping problems. The recruitment at that club for the last number of years is incredibly bad. You know, you look and you think, you know, it's Manchester United. I mean, even like Rashford's wages. I mean, he doesn't. He signs what he's offered. You know, so the amount of money the club has wasted now for a long period of time, somebody does really need to get a grip of it from top to bottom.
So what have you made of it? Because it does seem like Manchester United, they make these massive deals, the players come in and then it all gets a little bit ugly. They're all training in a separate location to the others, their changing rooms are different. Where do they go after this? Have they got to change their strategy?
Yeah, 100%. Like, the recruitment hasn't been good enough. And we were talking about it on the show on Saturday, and we were saying the manager's changing as well. So I think, you know, the style's changing. So then you're bringing in different players to fit with that style. So at some point, they've got to be patient. They've got to stick with the manager. They've then got to build with that manager and bring the right players in that are going to, you know, sort of play that style. So, yeah, when, you know, I looked at the start of the transfer window and you thought, OK, they've brought in some good attacking players. They're players that they needed because, you know, they didn't score enough goals, they didn't create enough chances last season. But then you also looked at the midfield area and you thought, well, to play the way that Amrin wants to play, they need probably more legs and more athleticism in there. Then you looked at the goalkeeper situation, which I know that they're addressing with Lammens. Whether he's the right goalkeeper or not, I'm not too sure. But yeah, when you look at that and you look at the amount of money that they've spent and then what they're going for, the recruitment certainly hasn't been good enough.
Do you think, Michael, they've got rid of the right players? And what I mean by that, you know, you're looking at, I mean, Garnacho you can claim as an academy project, but it's still a great player on his day. Looking at this team, do you think they've made the right decisions?
Well, you can go along from there. Sancho, Aston Villa. I mean, Antony, you're losing just under £60 million in 3 years. Remarkable. Marcus Rashford gone on loan. Garnacho, Højlund field from Malacia. I mean, Garnacho, you could talk about professionalism, body language. I mean, and we buoyed it. It's just remarkable. A football club of Manchester United can waste money like they do and not get it right. I mean, you make the odd mistake, but it just seems to be constant with Manchester United. And you look at the money spent now. I mean, they've gone with Cunha and Mbeumo, who big fans of. But it wasn't too long ago we were saying I'm a big fan of Sancho, like Rashford, like Garnacho, and then they're all out the door. So there's something not quite right. A mentality, a mindset of going, it's a heavy shirt to play in. But I'm going to knuckle down, I'm going to be good. Mainu, what happens with Mainu? He was wanting a loan move. It wasn't long ago, there was a picture with three of them, Højlund, Mainu and Garnacho, sat there all happy. The future of Manchester United. How it's all gone wrong. And there just seems to be a knock-on effect year after year, and you see we touched about on changing the manager. They have to get something right, they have to stick with it, and they've got to have a plan. And it just don't seem to have it at the moment in time, because they just waste so much money.
You look at even Scott McTominay, who has went to Napoli. He's been a victim of the poor recruitment, and they've moved him on, obviously to free up money. But he played under every manager. You know, he's a good, talented player. He's went and showed that in Naples, and you look at him now, they keep signing in players. I mean, it's just a graveyard.
It's interesting to see that they are getting rid of, you know, and that was I think the fan perspective on the Kobbie Mainoo thing was almost like it would be the last straw if he had gone. But it is like they're looking at the net profit of, okay, we can get Garnacho out. He's an academy, you know, talent that we've had. We're going to make pure profit back on that. Same with Scott McTominay. So, you know, but when you see who has left and then you've got who's come in, you know, Dorsey was touching on it, Mbeumo, Cunha, you've got Šeško up top now. Are Man United stronger now than where they were at the start of the window?
Yeah, I think they are. They're stronger. They are stronger. I think Mbeumo and Cunha makes Man United strong. The jury's out on Šeško. This jury's still out on it. But he hasn't played enough games at the moment. Why have you spent 70 million on him? and you keep him on the bench? Why not put him integrate? And they played, no disrespect, they played Burnley at home on the weekend. Why are you not starting your centre forward to try and get him confidence?
He was claiming that he was suffering from cramp on.
Then Cunha gets injured, and then you don't bring him on.
Yeah.
You still don't bring him on. And as the number 9, I understand suffering from cramp against Grimsby. Grimsby dominated them. That's
why they said he took the last penalty.
Nah, even if I've got cramp, I'm taking the first 5. If you pay 70 million, I've got to stand up and be counted for. But I'm not blaming Sesko, because if he should be the one who says to the manager, I want to prove myself. But I do think their window, they've got a strong window. I do think they look better, but Cunha's just picked up an injury, and Buemo's obviously got his goal again on the weekend, and Bruno scores the winning goal. But they are stronger, but they've got problems, and we've said that. Boydie's spot on. Their recruitment is nowhere near good enough. If you look at the list of players there, they're all talented. Why is it not working at that football club? There must be a reason why it's not working. Is it down to the individual, or is it down to someone at that football club who can't get the best out of them?
The other thing is, you look at the players as well. I mean, Marcus Rashford is Barcelona. Sancho, he was at Chelsea last year. He's got Villa.
Yeah.
It's not as if they're just going to clubs where it's
Garnacho,
Chelsea, Hoyland,
Napoli,
champion. Do you know what I mean?
Is this a victim of the change in manager though? Like you're looking at, Tyrell Malacia, for instance, right? Is an Eric Ten Hag signing.
Yeah.
He's now gone. As soon as he's gone, now Amorim doesn't want him. Michael, what would you say?
Yeah, that happened. Eric Ten Hag signed Anthony for a ridiculous amount of money. He wanted him.
Also like Garnacho as well.
Yeah, and paid way over the price. You have to do. Manager comes in going, I want that player out. And Sesko now might be the same as what Hoyland is. I was one when Hoyland went in going, give him time. It was a disaster for Manchester United. Could Sesko be another one? They have to get him. When you're paying that much money, I'll get him fit playing him.
Then?
That is the question.
Because if you're a manager and you're under pressure and you sign somebody for the amount of money that they've signed Sesko for, the first thing you're doing is putting them in your team.
Exactly.
You're not looking to create problems with not playing them. And then people are going to question, you've spent another fortune on a striker, you're not playing them. They need to get them in the team. So if that's the case, who's signing them?
Yeah. I think, Sue, a lot has been said obviously about Šeško here, but you still look at it in terms of Mbeumo, Cunha, 2 Premier League proven players that could take Man United to that next level. Is it also about working out
the top half?
Yeah, well seeing those 2 players who are Premier League proven, know what they want in front of them. The manager's clearly favouring Mason Mount at the minute. Is that what he's just trying to work out? I've got these 2 boys that these 2 have to start each time. Who are they best with?
Yeah, probably. And I think we were all looking and we were saying, well, how come Šeško's not starting in that game at the weekend? Is it because he doesn't quite feel that he's quite ready yet? He's quite fit enough yet? It was an opportunity to sort of put him in there. But yeah, it is about trying to find who fits in with the system that obviously Amorim wants to play. Yes, bringing in Cunha and Mbeumo, you know that they are Premier League proven. You know that they can score goals and they can assist in the Premier League. Šeško may take a little bit more time to adapt. So yeah, there's so many different things, isn't there, around this Manchester United, and you just hope that from the top to the bottom, it all sort of starts to align.
You have to play Sesko. As Boydie said, you paid all that money. Cunha has been playing through the middle as a 9. Cunha's best position is on that left-hand side as a number 10, playing in them little pockets where him and Mbeumo cause problems, which he did at Wolves and Mbeumo did at Brentford. Sesko, if I'm the centre forward and Boydie will tell you, and you're bringing me for 70 million, and you're leaving me on the bench, I'm starting to think, did you want to sign me, or did someone else at the club want to sign me? Because I'm thinking I should go straight in. I understand why he's playing Mason Mount. When Mason Mount's fit, Mason Mount is a top player. So you want to try and build his confidence up. But can he not play? And I see him do it at Fulham the other day, where he played him with Bruno Fernandes. They were obviously chasing. No, they weren't. They were chasing that game there. And they did bring him with Bruno Fernandes to sit in there. And he can play in them positions. You do find a place in the team for Mason Mount, because I think he's a good player, but not at the expense of Šeško.
As promised, we wanted to talk about the situation at Manchester United in terms of the goalkeepers. I mean, all their goalkeepers have come under fire. The Sun have gone with lovely business for Manchester rivals. They've got Senna Lammens in, and there was talk of Emi Martinez coming in. Why do you think they've gone for Senna Lammens and not Martinez?
I mean, well, there has been talk all day that Martinez ultimately fell down, possibly because they couldn't get a permanent move for Sancho. I know Sancho has gone to Villa on loan. I'm not sure if that's absolutely true, but it has been the talk all day. And it is a slightly surprising one that maybe it's actually a decision maybe that articulates this kind of delicate point that Manchester United are at, because obviously they've staked a lot on Ruben Amorim. But they also don't want to make the mistake, I suppose, of making every single signing anchored to an individual manager, so that if there is a change, I'm not sure there's going to be, then suddenly they have to change again, because that's been one of the problems at Manchester United. Now, Lammens, he's seen as someone who can be a sensational goalkeeper in the future. And I think from what I was told yesterday, the thinking was that, they could miss out on him and then he could go on and be brilliant elsewhere, and then they'd have felt that when they could have done the deal for much cheaper. So that's one of the rationale. But I suppose it's just a strange one because, look, a goalkeeper is already an isolated position. We've talked about it with Trafford and Donnarumma already. At Manchester United, it feels all the more isolated right now, given Manchester United is a punishing environment for a young player without experience at the moment, because the glare is so strong. It's not just the weight of the United shirt, it's the weight of United disarray. So suddenly, if a young player makes one error, and that, especially in goals, I don't want to be talking him down already, it's just more, I suppose, what he's walking into, then that can have an effect. But who knows, we might be talking about a sensation here who immediately can stand up, who has actually that personality. Because I suppose that's maybe where there was some surprise they didn't go for Martinez, because he's got all sorts of personality, and that's what United have needed, really.
Manchester United have a new goalkeeper on the way. Ruben Amorim has repeated his message that strengthening in other areas remained a priority, after signing Benjamin Sesko, Mateus Cunha and Brian Bumo. But after high-profile mistakes from both Andre Onana and Altay Bayindir already this season, the time for a change in between the sticks has arrived. Bayindir's mistake against Arsenal on the opening day of the season and Onana's 2 errors against League Two Grimsby Town seems to have forced the Red Devils into action. Tom Heaton remains at the club after extending his deal in the summer, but has not been given an opportunity under Amorim, despite featuring during pre-season. But with only hours left of the transfer window, Ineos seem to have secured a 5th edition of the summer. As per The Athletic, Manchester United are set to sign Royal Antwerp goalkeeper Sen Lammens. A fee of €21 million, £18.2 million, plus €4 million, £3.4 million, in add-ons has been agreed between the two clubs with no sell-on clause included. Lammens, 23, is set to sign a 5-year deal at Old Trafford and will follow the likes of Cunha, Sesko, Bumo and Diego Leon through the door this summer. Sources indicate Amorim's stance on his goalkeepers changed after their opening weekend defeat by Arsenal, in which Bayindir was at fault for the only goal of the game. Personal terms had also been agreed with Aston Villa goalkeeper Emi Martinez, but it seems Lammens was the number one choice, and those talks between Manchester United and the Villains have now cooled.